It's 10:30 a.m. on Saturday, September 7th, 2024, and I don't have to move any animals today. And last night we got a little bit of rain. The rain meter showed a couple drops of rain inside, and there was a beetle in there too. But there's some like really dry parts of the pasture, especially near the shop, where it showed the pattern of rain falling on the dry dust there. So we got a little bit of rain. Right now it says it's about 80 degrees. It feels like it's 75. Humidity is low. There's wind blowing from the north. That's that cold air that comes from the north. The North Pole, there's no mountains between here and the North Pole. So it's quite possible for us to get an Arctic blast. So occasionally the temperatures will drop to below freezing. We'll get some snow and some ice and things like that. But it's kind of nice. Hope the wind noise doesn't bother you. I have my hand on the phone, so hopefully it's blocking the wind from hitting the microphone directly. Anyway, not much to talk about. I just want to look at the sheep after the move here, see how they're all doing. Looks like there's plenty of grass out here for them. I did catch them in the eastern part of this row. Of course, they don't like me, so they're moving towards the west. I just wanted to get an eye on some of them, especially the ones that are laying down, make sure they're not hurt some way or the other. There's a couple there laying down. I see them chewing their cud. Sometimes they take a mid-morning or afternoon nap. They look really good. That's kind of what it looks like where they lay. They look very good. So that ewe right there, her rear end's a little bit pink or red. Shows that she's cycling, I think. Or that, or she's got hemorrhoids. So I don't think that all the ewes are going to breed this cycle. My plan is to probably, let's see, they say 5 weeks will give you the ram effect. So they need 5 weeks without any males. So what I could do is a month and a week before I plan to put the rams on, take all the ram lambs off, just in case the scent of the ram lambs is enough to cause them to cycle. And then bring the rams on all at the same time, and leave them on for 2 cycles. I forget the number for sheep. It's like 17 days or something like that, 14 days. So a month, I think, is plenty of time. I'll have to double check to make sure that's correct. We'll have 3 rams on the next cycle. Rammy will be one of them. And those 2 other St. Croix. And, ooh, look at that wound. It is almost gone. Yesterday I remember looking at it, but now it's like even closed up even more. So, yeah. So hopefully that'll be enough to get them all to breed at the same time. We'll get a bunch of lambs dropping all at the same time. And, you know, I gotta say that when I first got these sheep from my neighbor, they were not good sheep, and he didn't sell them as good sheep. These are all the Dorpers with the black heads. There's a Barbados or 2 out there as well. And there was a couple white ones too, but not many. And he had his friend that deals in sheep. He's a broker of sorts. So he buys sheep and sells them. And his friend came by and bought all the sheep that were worth something and left the rest. So I got the rest at basically rock bottom prices. But so I sold that first crop of rams. And I don't remember how much I got for it, but I think I pretty much made back the money that I lost, right? It's buying the sheep. So I didn't lose money at all. And I've got 6 more rams that I want to sell. One of them has that arthritis leg, and if that doesn't heal, then he's probably not going to be sold. I'll probably just let him get as big as he can and then turn him into dog food. But this crop, hopefully, I think I'm expecting 20 to 30 lambs. So half of those will be rams, assuming that that's how it works, which seems to be. So that's going to hit late November, early December. There might be a couple stragglers that come in a little later. And then the next crop, so when I bring the rams back on in March, hoping to get August lambs, which sounds like a bad idea, but the honest truth is it's not that bad. Anyway, but bring the rams on in March, and there's going to be 80 something sheep to breed with, somewhere around there. And so that crop is expected to be 120, somewhere in that range. Okay. And then when that 120 matures after 2 breeding cycles, I'll keep 60 of them as ewe lambs, right? And so then that 80 plus 160 is 140 now. So 16 months from August, we're going to have 160 some odd ewes breeding. And so if my math is correct, that should give me 250 or so lambs, right? Keep half of those, so 130 ewes. That'll get me up to the numbers that I want. So 2 breeding cycles after that, I'll be getting an even larger number. And that's kind of where I want to get, is to 300 breeding ewes. That's about 4 times the size of this flock. So I think that I can easily sustain that in my pasture. So that's the story on the lambs, the sheep. So about 4 breeding cycles from now, I should be getting 450, 500 lambs every cycle, every 8 months. And that should be worth something, hopefully, if they're healthy. And at that point too, I'm going to start aggressively culling. Anything that doesn't breed the way I want, that doesn't look right, anything that's too big or too small, doesn't shed the way I want them to shed, doesn't give the number of lambs that I want, anything that doesn't fit my program is going to go. Where do they end up? Well, they go to the sale barn. Somebody's going to buy them, maybe somebody like me who's starting out, doesn't really know what they're doing with lambs and sheep, so they don't want to spend a lot of money on them for fear they might screw it all up. So they're looking for cheap sheep. The other thing about cheap sheep is you get what you pay for. So they're going to have problems. They're not going to do everything that you want. But the nice thing is you get to experience those problems for yourself. So I had no idea what mastitis was until one of my ewes got really big teats, and that ewe died. And so I'm like, well, I can't let that go anymore. I didn't know what this disease and that disease was. The dogs dealing with large numbers of sheep, like exactly how I'm supposed to train them and everything like that. So you get a lot of experience, and that experience is definitely worth the cost. So even if I lost all of that first batch of lambs, I would just be out $1,000 instead of $10,000 or $20,000. So I think the experience is worth it. School of hard knocks, right? Maybe some of those ewes will be keepers, but at some point you're going to say, you know what, I know what kind of sheep I need. You'll know what to look for when you're buying them, and you'll get some pretty good sheep. So maybe that's what will happen. As for myself, that's kind of my boat, is I'm starting to understand what I need in sheep, and so I'm going to be able to buy better sheep next time I buy them. So I think this last batch that I bought, though, the white ones, is pretty good. Anyway, guys, that's all I've got for you this morning. Have a great day. Take care, and bye-bye.